Good evening and welcome to my live stream. Fight CPS and stop taking our children. This is my evening live stream. It comes on at 7 o'clock every night, 7 nights a week. This coming Friday, I may be early, approximately about 4 o'clock. I'm also in the mornings at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. on the weekends. Also, this Friday, I may be coming on early at 6 a.m. And those times are all Pacific Standard Times. And I want to thank you all for finding me. You found me on Facebook. There's actually 7 pages on Facebook that are drawing you to this live stream. I'm using a software application called SteamYard, and it broadcasts using YouTube. There's also one YouTube channel. So I have 8 channels. They're all connected here to this channel. And hello, Desiree Buckner. Desiree Buckner is a veteran, and she's from Santa Ana, California. Her case is in San Bernardino uh, County of California. It's a welcome and hello there. I'm so glad that you joined me. Now, some housekeeping rules. Basically, um, this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. This is for educational purposes only. Any legal advice you want, you need to talk to attorney Vincent Davis at 888-888-6582. Now, I'm a loving father and husband, and I've been doing this now for uh, 25 months. This is my 25th month, and I've been sitting here trying to help you from talking to 24 countries and over 2,800 people I've talked to. We all have something similar in common. We ran into a bad CPS entity, a rogue entity. And I too was a victim of CPS badly. My children were broken apart. I've helped raise 6 children. The oldest 3 have families of their own. The youngest 3 were the ones that are caught up in it. And they went through excruciating pain in foster care. They were not in danger when they took them from me, and the child protection system deceived me and my family. And it started off really innocently for 5 years, where a reporter, a layperson who was a family member, reported every week there's something wrong with us doing in the family. So I had to fight that for 5 years. I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. I'm still fighting them. I'm still fighting them. Now, let me see. Now, see, Bob, a lot of us don't know what that means. All right. Explain to me what you want to know, what that means there. Um, CPS, which I call the Child Protection System, is found in every county in every state and found worldwide. Now, what I mean by world, I've reached 24 countries from Indonesia to Bangladesh to India, then up to the Middle East. Yeah, all about me being an attorney. Yeah, I just want to disclaim it. It's you know, you can't afford an attorney in here, and I couldn't afford one either when I first started my case. I had to sell my forever home that I worked 45 years for to hire Mr. Davis to rescue my family, and so um, I want to be sure that no one is thinking that I'm an attorney. I'm not. I do know a lot about law. I'm a construction civil engineer, building heavy highways, roads. I've done construction law, construction claims. So I have that law background. But as far as having a background in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, it's only what I've gotten to learn in these last 25 months, these last 2 years and a month. I started this since October of 2024, but I'm a loving father. I have 43 years of marriage and 61 years of working. I've worked all my life. I have numerous jobs. Besides a teacher credential, I have a degree in marine biology. I've worked as a scientist. I worked as a marine animal trainer. There are so many jobs I've done, an ocean lifeguard, and so many things there. So, yeah, the difference between lawyers and public defenders. Public defenders are lawyers. They are licensed, but they they're not trained in the areas of juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. They only have a criminal law background. Now, legal aid is like legal shield. It's going to help you with simple things like your will, um, maybe file a restraining order, a simple divorce, or start a divorce. But the real crutch of the problem is that you need a real attorney. That's why I suggest contacting Mr. Davis. Now, I do have a banner that runs across the bottom of my page. And if you want to have a private text message with Vincent Davis, he charges $10. Now, if you want to have a private um, phone call, it's $15. He'll talk to you for $15. And if you want to be a part of his live stream for 30 minutes, it'll be $25. So when you get your credit card out and you go ahead and use Cash App, Apple Pay, or Zella, and you send it to request to 310-308-7758. And right away you can. Now, if you call into that number, 888-888-6582, you reach the law office of Vincent W. Davis. And reception is who will answer. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, make sure you tell him that Bob Pace sent you. So it's really, really important. But I have helped numerous of people because I can rationalize, I can think logically. I've helped people with medical trafficking where the parents were accused wrongly of not doing anything about their children's medical needs, which they were. One case, I learned all about appendix and all about gallstones and how to recognize it. I do have a background as an EMT, as an ocean lifeguard that take a lot of advanced training in first aid. So I have that kind of background. I've also worked as a volunteer in the Boy Scouts of America for over 50 years, the American Red Cross for over 50 years. Other organizations have been the surfing organizations. I've organized surfing contests and been a competitor myself for 25 years. And so I'm an early pioneer of some of the things today that you see at surfing contests. So, anyway, when you get a hold of Mr. Davis, he can defend you. Now, for instance, he works out of LA County, his office is in Arcadia, and his retainer is $5,000 approximate, and he's $500 an hour. Well, that's a lot of money for a lot of you. It's a lot of money for me. I had to sell my forever home to hire him. Now, his retainer and his hourly rate is dependent on the complexity of your case and how long it goes on. I given quotes to a couple in Georgia for 125,000. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I gave the same quote, 125,000. There's airfare involved, there's ground transportation, and then there's hotel and the hotel accommodation, and then food, and then he has to get his license for that state. That's why it's a little bit higher than California. But he will go to other states, and he's the real deal there. He's the real deal there. So, who prepares the paperwork in your own words? Well, with me, in my case, I did my own paperwork. Like 2 weeks ago, I was fighting social services, and they were saying that supposedly my daughter, they wanted an accounting of where I spent the money that I was getting my retirement from. And I told them, it's for maintaining a room for her. When she was 12, she was taken from me. And I had to pay for the move to the new home when I sold the home, and then I had to pay for her bedroom furniture and her things and everything move into her room, and I had to pay storage because not all her belongings would make it into the new home we're living in. It's a small apartment. It's only a 3 bedroom home that is only about 1,000 square feet. I was living in close to a 4,000 square foot home with 4 bedrooms. Each child had a bedroom. But CPS ruined all that. They ruined it all that. They've ruined my life because of I can't get a job because of my involvement with CPS. They've done nothing more than just do terrible things, and that's what they do. They're mean and evil, and I'm not afraid to say that. And I haven't used AI that much. I use AI for looking things up, but like my resume, I do myself. Paperwork, I file things. I'm fighting a case that I had to go to court on Friday, and I did all myself. And I think I can win this case. I've already won several other cases in there. So the system's not backed up yet. Well, I back up things on a flash drive, and my phone's backed up. I do several. I have a clouds, I have Microsoft clouds and Google clouds. I have several clouds there. So I know what you mean because we had Amazon has a cloud. I do not use Amazon. Um, I think Microsoft is pretty good and Google's pretty good there. Um, But anyway, I'm here to help you, like Desiree, who's in San Bernardino, fight her case. She's a veteran and they've taken advantage of her. They should show respect to people that put their life on the line. They should show respect. There's many of you that have many, many issues, like Bartley. Lisa Bartley is from Montana, and the police rudely came into her home, tore her front door apart. They're now repairing it. She finally got the criminal case taken off, and now she has a CPS case where she tries to get her 5-year-old son home. And she just sent me a picture the other day. It was so beautiful. Betty Joe's another person from Montana that's fighting to get her niece home from Nebraska. So, hello, Michael Carlin Ritera. Welcome to my live stream. And Michael, what part of the world are you from? By the way, I need to put in here the how the text and messages. If you're going to text me a message, all I need to know is your first name and your location, and then either write a comment or a question about your CPS. Now, I do talk about APS, Adult Protection Services. It's for children 18 and older. They're special needs. They're caught up and they're turned over from CPS to APS. It's also for elderly abuse and elder people in rest homes and caregivers and people that are older are being badly mistreated. I've had several cases. I had Bruce from North Carolina by his father. Okay, you're from Idaho. Great. What city or county are you from, Michael? And tell me about your case so I can help you, Michael. We have Michael in the room from Idaho. We have Desiree from California, who's been doing a lot of talking. We have lots of people that come in here. I already have an emoji, and that was Margaret King. Now, Margaret King has been a long time on my show, She's from the Kern River. Vincent Davis is defender. Vincent got her criminal charge taken off. Now he's working to get her kids back. He is doing good. There's a lot of you that come to my room that are using Mr. Davis. So there's a lot of you there. Now, Desiree, do you have anything new you want to ask me? By the way, um, besides texting a message, um, I also, if you want to be a guest, I'll put that up there. Be a guest, you just email me to my email. It's bobp@vincentwdavis.com. Be a guest. I can take 9 of you, and I'll send email to my show producer, Grace, who will then contact you with a link to get on your browser. You can be on the show. And I do like to see guests from time to time. I've had as many as 4 at one time. I can take up 9 to you. You have 14 live streams to choose from. Just say I want to make Bob's Sunday morning show, or Bob's Saturday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show, or Monday night show. Just night or morning, one day of the week, and she'll take care of the rest. You can be on all 14 shows if you like. You can be on all 14 shows. Now, the rules are simple. There's no there's no profanity allowed on the show. We do not smoke on the show or eat on the show, and we do not use the names of children, social workers, or judges. Also, um, if you get knocked off, use that link again. Use that link again. So it's a good thing to be a guest there. Now, lastly, I'm going to put up as my number. Now that means I'm live now. I can take calls. So if someone wants to call me, I can call you. Let me make sure that my phone's working. Yep. All right, my phone is live. I can take a call at 626-698-0990. The other number, the 888-888-6582, is the law offices of Vincent Davis. And that's where you can get a number there. Now, Michael from Idaho, he's in the Boise area of Idaho. I know where that is. He says the ADA Canyon, the country Canyon County, had 2 cases that have been vacated. It's a long story. I just tuned in to listen. Okay. Were those cases involving you? What do you mean that they were vacated? Meaning they were dropped? Um, anyway, if you'd like to call in and share it, it's perfectly well. You're now in Napa now. Is that in Idaho? NAMPA, Napa? Anyway, we have Desiree from Santa Ana, California, a veteran. We have Michael from the Boise area of Idaho, and he now is in, I guess, Napa, NAMPA. Now, please ask any questions you like. I will try to answer it as best I can. Now, I've developed 5 rules for you to follow too. I've developed 5 rules for you to follow too. Okay. Yes, two different cases with our daughter, right after she was born, and then our son a couple years later. They took them both at that point, and their mom got them back while I went to prison. Ouch. Oh dear, Michael. Why did you go to prison? Anyway, I think you're out now, which is good. And whatever you did, um, prison is not a fun place to go. Prison is not a fun place to go. Now, I have 5 rules that I've come up with. Rule number one, of course, let's talk about getting a real attorney, somebody like Vincent Davis. Now, something about Vincent Davis, let me tell you, he's been fighting CPS for 40 years. He's a um, he's a lawyer trained and educated in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, licensed and trained. And he's a real deal. I hired him and he helped me get part of my family back together. We did lose my daughter through no fault of him. He caught the social worker committing perjury while she testified on the stand, and she was so upset, embarrassed that she did retaliation. So she encouraged our daughter, along with the CASA rep for my daughter, that's the court appointed service advocate, and the judge, to divorce her mom and dad at age 12, divorce her parents at age 12. And that was terrible. That was a terrible, terrible thing to have a child you love so much be coached and talked into divorcing their parents. Not only that, she changed her name, and she got her new birth certificate, sealed her real birth certificate, got a second social security card, was double dipping from my social security from a retirement. A lot of people don't even think about it. Do you know that when you work, out of every dollar, a percentage goes to Social Security after the taxes? Taxes are on the whole amount. So, whatever the whole amount is, that comes out of your paycheck first. And then after that comes sometimes states will have state disability insurance, and some will have city tax and county tax, besides the federal tax and state tax. But anyway, when your Social Security retirement money is given back to you at age, because I'm now collecting it, all those years, all my 61 years of working, there's no, all the interest. Where'd the interest go? The government keeps the interest to operate on, and they're so stingy about the money. And all they do is they take the money to pay the next person out of your money. They should give it all to you. You should get your interest. You should also be able to get all your money back and invest it. Instead, they dribble it to you. They dribble it out. I get the max that you can get from Social Security, which is really hard to pay because I live in one of the most expensive places. And unfortunately, I lost my forever job in 2010, and that's what led to my downfall. Was getting involved in CPS. They did everything to really crush me. And I'm telling you, they're really bad. You got to be careful of them. And 50% of the time, you're going to encounter a bad one. And they have two types of reporters: the professional reporters and the lay persons. My report on me and my wife was her mother and father, her 3 sisters, her brother. My in-laws were saying once a week for 5 years we were doing this to our kids, which wasn't true. They knew when I lost my job, they wanted our kids. We have beautiful children, and they never liked today since we ever. In fact, they never liked me marrying her daughter. So I've had an uphill battle. Sometimes it's terrible with family members. Sometimes it's terrible. Well, we have Michael, who has 2 children, he and his wife, a daughter and a son. And I guess they took them both, but I guess they're all back together again. I would like to hear more about it, Michael. Michael's from Idaho, Boise area, and Desiree is from um, Santa Ana, California, but her case was in San Bernardino County, not LA County. Excuse me, Orange County, Santa Ana. So those are the people that have been in so far that are talking here. Michael further says, it's more than I want to go into right now and more than you want right now. But from the start, CPS was completely against me and did everything they could to make me the bad guy and make sure mom got the kids back. They didn't have a case, so they made one. I feel my rights were violated. Things were very twisted, a lot made up. It's been a struggle to live a normal life. Now, if it fix caused by all this from CPS. You know, your story sounds familiar, Michael. I have Rocky from New York, Westchester, New York. He has a brother in Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia. His wife turned against him, made false accusations, and is really bent over backwards, and he doesn't have anything to do with his children. He's very sad, and Rocky's been trying to help out his brother. So I know what you're going through, Michael, and that is terrible to hear. That's terrible because studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents for raising children. Time and time again, the best parents are biological parents, not foster care, not other family members, but the real biological parents. They say that time and time and time again. Okay. Anyway, Michael, I know what you're going through. I'm so sorry for that. I'm here to help you with your questions and concerns about CPS. I can talk about my 5 rules. I can talk about my case. I can also talk to you about a 388 motion, a 160 hearing, a 180 hearing. I can talk about the um, termination of your parental rights, your case plan, your team meeting, foster care. There's so many other issues and topics I can talk about. All you have to do is ask me. All you have to do is ask me. Now, my phone number is up. You can call in at 626 698. I have a banner running across the bottom that explains what you can do with Mr. Davis. And his number is 888 Welcome back, Michael. I'm glad that you are back in the room listening. So that's really good to have you guys here. Mhm. No, I just talked a little about your case, how similar it was, Michael, to Rocky, who is from New York, with his brother. His wife turned on his brother and made up stories and had his children taken away from, and that was in Virginia. Now, I mentioned the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978, was something that our first immigrants, the Native American Indians, that needed about their children. For over 100 years, the Native American Indian children were rounded up and placed into foster homes and boarding schools where they were abused. And it's sad because the parents never saw their children again. Their hair was cut, their traditions were gone. It was really sad. It's a trail of tears. If any society anywhere in the world has been going for a long time, ever since the Europeans came, and which is like over 400 years ago. The American Native Indians were the first immigrants to North America. They came across the land bridge up near Alaska. They talk about making a tunnel that connects Siberia to Alaska. But anyway, these people from Asia came across, settled in Alaska, later became the Eskimos, and then a lot of them settled in Canada, and they're called the First Nation people. The rest of them settled in the United States before we had, states there. The second group of immigrants to this country, I shouldn't say immigrants, but they were explorers, were the Vikings. Vikings came long before the Europeans did. And the Vikings never settled. They got as far west as the Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. Far north is Nova Scotia, Rhode Island. As far as south, there are parts of them around the Great Lakes, but they were definitely explorers and raiders. They did settle Iceland and Greenland, but they were the second group that come here. The third group were the Europeans, the English, the French, the Spanish, the Dutch, the people from Europe that came over here. And the early colonizations were like to Jamestown. It was one of the first ones. Plymouth Rock. Anyway, there's these tribes, not tribes, but little fort areas that they would try to build. Well, that went on for 400 years. Of course, the Indians were living here, and they're getting pushed further, further, more westward as we started to get more and more land. Anyway, in the 1870s, and of course, right after the Battle of Little Bighorn, that crazy horse beat General Armstrong Custard, the only war the Indians ever won. um, things going downhill. They're put under reservations. Children are rounded up and never returned to their families. Well, it wasn't until 1978 when Congress enacted the Indian Child Welfare Act. It actually recognizes that the American Indians can take care of their own if they have trouble with neglect or abuse. So CPS is supposed to investigate if the child is registered with an Indian tribe or could be registered with the Indian tribe, then they're turned over to the Indian tribe, and the Indian tribe will put them with American Indian family and take care of them. So you have to look up the ICWA of 1978. There's all kinds of things in history. See, CPS wasn't started to 1962, with an act of Congress that mandated that every state and every county would have a group of social workers. They directed that towards social services. And these social workers later became the child protection system. And they're supposed to protect from neglect and abuse. But they're also supposed to do family reunification. If a family member screws up, they can take parenting classes or programs, and the family can put back together again. But the typical MO of 50% of the child protection systems take your children when they don't need to be. And that's the worst part. That's the worst part. So, yes, CPS has had to pay for damage in life. Um, I'm not trying to feel sorry for you, Michael. I just can feel your frustrations. While has been kind of a tragedy, I've learned a lot. I just don't think a lot of the process was necessary and it's very unfair. And I was absolutely discriminated against. I agree. More so, mother and children in our relationship was affected and damaged. It's been hard. I know what you mean. As much as I try and embrace the trial, I wonder if CBS has to pay. Yes, it's called a civil lawsuit. Michael, and Vincent has done numerous of civil lawsuits, both in state court and federal court, and won millions of dollars against the child protection system. Some attorneys are not afraid to stand up, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are. So, Michael, they have had to pay. You know, it's really sad. But I appreciate you sharing that, Michael. I appreciate you sharing that. Mhm. Now we have some people in the room. I'm just looking for some questions because um, I do have my five rules that help you out, but I'd like to help you guys out specifically. What is your case about? I've helped out so many people that are able to get their children back. They've come back to tell me. So if you tell me what your situation is, and I can try to help you. Um, Michael, you could sue them if there has been your civil rights or your constitutional rights have been violated. There is a statute of limitation you got to be careful about too. So I don't know how long your case has been going on, but like anything else, I ran out of money when I got my kids back. I had no money to sue CPS. I could have sued them for my home and all kinds of stuff. I could have sued them for $10 million. And I imagine my case I would have won. But I don't know. I'm kind of burned out fighting CPS. I mean, it's going on my 16th year fighting them, and I'm still fighting them to this day. They've gotten involved with other agencies, social services, and Social Security. Even the IRS have had to fight too. So it's really kind of hard there. Now, hold on one second. All right, that's my son just came home, and I wanted to talk to him for a second. I'm back. My voice was silent for a bit there, but um, I think about it. I'm grateful to have my kids back. I wish eventually I will make it a better life for my kids. Well, I'm glad your daughter didn't divorce you at 12. That was a hard thing that my daughter did. It's been about 2 years. You may still have a case. It depends on what damages they did. With my daughter, I still have a continuous case today. I have a $10 million lawsuit, but I don't have the money right now to hire Mr. Davis to do it. So, I could invest $50,000 and get 10 million in return, but I need to come up with 50,000. I already sold my home, so I quick sell my home. Desiree, you called me a lot in the past. I can only answer the phone during my show. But is there something I can help you out, Desiree, from Santa Ana, California, or anybody else in here? Can I help you out? Now, my show is going to be over in about 3 minutes. So it goes over at 8 o'clock. I've been afraid to do anything because I'm still technically property of the state into 2029. Yeah, you got to be careful. You're right. You're right. Because being in prison, and you're on probation to 2029, my CPA case somehow became part of my criminal case. I feel like that has influenced a lot of how my criminal case has been handled. Oh boy. Yeah, yours is a complicated case, Michael, and I feel for you. I really do. I really feel for you. Okay, I'm going to wrap up my show now. I'm going to see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay? And so, no, not to the federal level, Andrea. It's just that's what it costs a lot of times with fighting stories there. Hello, Kelsey. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow during my morning show or evening show. It's good to see Kelsey Boggs. Yeah, it's $50,000, and it'd be paid to an attorney to fight CPS of a $10 million lawsuit. So, it takes money to get money, I guess. That's for a civil case. Yep, I'm ready to wrap up. Thanks for the show, and I hope you offer. Have a good night. Yeah, you can call Vincent Davis someday. He'd love to talk to you. I hope you come back tomorrow. Probably tomorrow evening show, Kelsey. Okay, that sounds good. Now, as I'm trying to wrap up, I'm sorry for the background noise in the background, but I'm trying to end up my show here. Trying to fight other conversations taking place. So I really want to thank you for coming in, Kelsey. I think Kelsey is from, if I remember her, she's from Indiana. Kelsey is from Indiana. And Michael is from Idaho. And Andrea Perry, I don't know where you're from, but it's good to see you here. Let me see. We have Michael covered there. We have Margaret King gave me emoji, a heart. Thank you. She's from Kern County in California. And then we have Desiree from Santa Ana, California, a veteran. I want to thank you all for listening to me tonight. And also, I don't know why I got that listed there. I'm going to have to put up the Department of Government Efficiency. If you can't resolve it at the county level or at the state level, the federal is you go to the Government Efficiency. That's the web page. That's direct numbers to the White House, area code 202. They do answer. That's the email. If you want to send an email about your case, you're not getting resolved, you can fight back on CPS. That will work there. So keep fighting for your kids. There'll be a brief, someone else just came here. San Bernardino. Okay, Andrea, glad to meet you from San Bernardino. So anyway, there'll be a short video to watch after leave. Do not stop fighting for your kids. Come back here for encouragement or answer questions. I'm here twice a day, 14 times a week. I've been doing this now for 25 months. That's over 2 years. And I've talked to over 2,800 people. I've helped out a lot of people. I'd say probably about 50 people I've helped that have called and talked to me that have helped, but probably there's a lot more. But anyway, God bless you all. Have a good night and watch the video. Bob Pace is signing off. Thank you.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith